It's November the 2nd, 2015. It's 5:30 a.m. and this is the moon hologram orb cluster nucleus. It's very bright. It's jumping around like crazy. And it's moving in the wrong direction. Should be moving to the right. Okay, this is extreme movement right now in the wrong direction. If I go closer, it's jumping around a lot. We're going to see this side over here. Wow. That's amazing how much movement it's making in the wrong direction. Okay, no object in space on a path can be moving, in the wrong direction like that. Only an intelligently controlled object or a entity that's intelligent, which I believe the moon is. It's an entity of living organisms. Only something like that can move. Like, look at that. Boy. Okay, I'm just in a regular clear lens now. Keeps moving out of the way. Could see a lot of large orbs there. It's really bright. You could see the electromagnetic field in red. Acts like a membrane, and you can see all the orbs outside of it. Okay, that's all space. It's not a vacuum. It's full of living organisms like that. It's so packed. It's like water on Earth. It's full of living organisms. You can see them right there. Just if I can get it to stand still. You can see them trying to get into the nucleus. Some are trying to get in and others are just being expelled or expelled. Right there. You could see it very well right there. Okay, you could see a lot of them being expelled and the others are trying to get in. I'm just going to move closer. Okay, there you can see all the organisms. It's very hard to keep the camera on any spot because the thing is so active, and it's because it's so full of living organisms that are in extreme velocity motion that it's making the whole thing jump. See these parts right here, okay, they're just like going to be created. They'll be created in the near future, maybe in a day or so. But right now you're just seeing like a holographic representation of them. And so it's like looking into the future a few days from now, when that thing will become a mark or an object or a living object, but it'll become part of the moon orb cluster nucleus and hologram. Right now it's just a hologram, that part right there that's sticking out. If I can only get it to stand still. Okay, so that hasn't been created yet, but they're working on it. So all of those things are like to make us think that there are mountains there and valleys and craters and everything we thought that was there. But as you can see, those are very large orbs, and these are actually living ships that grouped together like that in a cluster. And a cluster can look like anything, but for the large part it looks like round or like a football. That's American football. Okay, so wow, that's a big jump it took. Now I gotta look for it. Obviously, he doesn't want me to see any of it. Boy, I gotta find it. I don't know where it went. Okay. See those two big orbs right there? And the other darker one right below them, and all the other ones okay, you see that? Hold on. Those are really big orbs right there. It's only stay in one spot. Those two. Wow, it's taking really big jumps. Look at all of them in space. Here, you could see it here better. You could see them trying to get through that electromagnetic field right there. You can see a lot of them leaving as well. So it's a constant influx and expulsion of orbs. But out here, you know, it's just like all orbs. And that's the main cluster. And that's most of space like that. Where you know, it's all like living organisms. And the entire universe is just one big living organism. It's not dead matter, or inert matter, I should say. It's alive. Okay. Even on Earth, when you have metals and rocks and any other kind of matter that we call inert, inside of it the atoms are moving. So, you know, it depends what you mean by dead. There's nothing really dead, because everything has some kind of a life cycle regardless of whether it's inert or living matter. There's movement of atoms and other subatomic particles inside of everything. And it all comes down to energy, because it's energy that creates all of that. And these things are masters of it. And that's why they can shapeshift and do all kinds of things. And they can cluster together into any shape, any kind of a form, or any kind of a substance, including water. I used to have them at home, and you know, just a drop of water on top of one will change it into something that's really unrecognizable in comparison to its form that I started with. And it looks like, you know, jelly. And you can see its veins, its big eyes, all the features that it would have, but it looks like an embryo rather than a fully grown organism. And that's just one drop of water changes them like that. Imagine what they would look like in water. They'd be absolutely invisible and look just like water. You wouldn't be able to tell in water whether those were organisms or water, because it would just be impossible to determine the difference. I'm going to start using some filters in a minute. I've done some work and I want to just check them out, but this is like just on normal, no filter. and I want to see if my filters can work as this thing rolls. I hope they can, because I've tried to refix that issue, because the last time I had to like stop the camera and put it on the filter I wanted, because all the filters are internal, and I plan to add a few more. Like I don't have a blue or a green, I have everything else. Wow, check the shaking of that thing. It's amazing. I hate when it jumps so far that I can't keep up with it. I'm just gonna try and leave it in one spot. It's up so high that I'm having trouble also with getting the, just getting the angle, because it's right above my head, and that's about the limit of my stand. Okay, here you can see, all the orbs just below it. Okay, that's the bottom there, where it rounds up to go up. But you can see all the life there. So let me try this. Test my camera out. Okay, I just sharpened the focus. Now you can see the orbs really well. I just want to say that you can notice the counterclockwise movement, but it's in all directions, more than three-dimensional. Okay, because space is more than three-dimensional. Okay, we can only see it in 3 dimensions, but space is an infinite number of dimensions, and so all the counterclockwise movements, all these circular patterns, they're like multi-dimensional. That's why it looks like mishmash. But if you really look at it, seriously and with concentration, then you can see that the orbs are moving in a circular ring-like pattern, but in all different directions, and they're all revolving around what a nucleus of some sort. But the nucleus right now is hard to see because of so many different organisms. I'm gonna put a bigger button on this thing. I can't seem to get it on. It's working only in such small things. I should have brought my glasses out. Exposure. Okay. I'm just playing around with this to see if it can work. Everything is so small because I had to fit a lot of things onto this, but I had no room to work with. Okay, here we go. Okay. So this is the real heavy red filter. Let's try that one. Like, I'm still learning how to use this thing now because I put so many things on it. I can't even remember where they are or how to get them going. But you can see that X that I keep saying, this thing is going to be a star one day. You can see it even in red. Like, hold on. You see that X? Okay, that's why I filmed the eclipse, and this shows that the moon hologram and aura cluster nucleus puts out its own light. Okay, it's not a sun reflection or anything. This is a very bright object producing its own light. So the whole thing of the eclipse and the shadows is a farce. It's an illusion. And it's the orbs creating that illusion, because when I took photos and video of the shadow during the eclipse, even though it was cloudy and everything, I got some really good shots, and the shadow was very light pink, purple, very light purple. It went from like almost pink to purple. So basically speaking, I've never seen any object cast a purple shadow before, and therefore neither can the Earth or the moon. And anyway, when you have the sun that produces light and a moon that produces light, no matter what comes in between them cannot throw a shadow on either object that's emitting light. That's just not possible. I did an experiment with 2 flashlights of one very large, one very small, to represent the sun and the moon, and I put a whole globe in between. That was the globe of the Earth, and I moved it around to different positions, farther, closer to the moon, and there was no shadow at all. So I couldn't cast any shadow in that experiment. I tried it on the moon, I tried it on the sun. There was no shadow, not even on the Earth. There just was no shadow, because the moon and the sun emit light. So any kind of a shadow is an illusion, because it's all these organisms that are causing that illusion. They're creating it and making us believe that there's a shadow. But since like the 1600s or late 1600s, people with decent telescopes have been reporting purple clouds, going across the moon, and they couldn't explain them and all of that. So basically what's happening with the eclipses is like it's the orbs. They're either, creating like a shape of a shadow and flying slowly over the moon to make an illusion, or else they're just changing color, because orbs can change color and everything. Okay, this is a very heavy filter. I don't know if I'll see anything. I put this filter on to look at the sun. So that's my next project. I'll be, checking things out on the sun. Our sun. Okay, as you can see, there are no objects or anything. Okay, it's just orbs. As soon as that thing stops jumping. Okay, it's all an illusion. The entire thing is a living organism, because it's a cluster of living organisms that act and work and cooperate together. And when they're in a cluster like that, then it's just one organism. Okay, so there's nothing, absolutely nothing there but energy. Okay, there is no physical anything on the moon hologram, unless they want to turn the energy into a physical object. And they're the only ones that can do that. Okay, so let's see. Okay. I think I'm in sepia or something. I can't tell. I should have brought my glasses. Everything is so tiny. I can't see. Okay, but anyway, whatever color this filter is, you can see that under different filters there are no structures. Okay, the structures I showed you before, okay, see, they're not even there. And the reason for that is because they're not in a dimension where this filter can pick them up. Okay, they're in a third dimension, but they're in a different color range than what this filter is. The red one couldn't pick them up either. So it's only, those illusions are only created for what our eyes can pick up. Okay, and our eyes don't have filters to filter out, what's real and what's not real. And it just goes to show you how easy it is to fool your eyes. Okay, you can still see, how it is all over. with the orbs, outside, and I'm just gonna back off. Just loosen this so I can move it because the moon has moved. Okay, you can see that they're not picking up anything. Okay, the whole thing is an illusion. All of those orbs, the big orbs and everything else that I showed before, okay, they're not real. Okay, they're only real in a neutral or normal lens situation where you can only see it with like your eyes, but otherwise this whole thing is energy and there are no structures whatsoever. Okay, I'll go closer just to prove that. Okay, now I'm at like 500. That's 500x, and look how much it's shaking. And you see the energy being, put out by all the orbs just moving. Okay, that's the way they create energy. They move faster and faster around the nucleus, and they have a positive and negative charge each orb. They revolve under axes, and then they revolve around the orb cluster inside and outside, and the faster they go, the more energy they put out. For these guys out here, the outside the main cluster, because that nucleus is like a powerhouse. Okay, so let's try and change that. Okay, I think I got it on normal. I gotta back off. I'm too far. I'm too close. Okay. No, I'm still not on normal. See all those red lines? That's energy. Yeah, could see it. Okay, that's all energy. Okay, I'm just playing around with this, trying to figure out how to use it myself. Okay, boy, now you could really see. Okay. Okay, you could really see what's creating those images that appear to be something. Okay, and they're not. Okay. Okay, so it's all those orbs working very hard to create the illusion that the moon is a real object when it's just energy. And all of these are like energy organisms. And you could see that there is a parent cluster, and that parent cluster is connected to all the other dark energy in the universe, because that's what that is. And every now and then you'll see a star or a moon like ours, and that is where the nucleus of these dark energy clusters is, and it's like a powerhouse, a generator, a power plant, call it whatever you like. But what it does is it produces energy, and it produces energy for, the entire dark matter that surrounds this whole nucleus. And eventually, when this becomes larger and powerful enough, it'll turn into a star. It won't be a moon anymore. So you can tell right there that boy, it's a lot of energy. You see how the energy just flows? The orbs in the dark matter are also creating energy, and it's like an exchange. The nucleus is creating energy, and so are the orbs on the outside. So it's like an exchange of energy, but it's this that is really the powerhouse. Look how bright that is. You're gonna tell me that's a reflection? Okay, this is not a sun reflection. Okay, that would be impossible. So there was no eclipse and no shadow. Okay, I'll prove that next time I have time to put my video together. So every eclipse is an illusion. There are no shadows whatsoever. It's these orbs. See, they can turn any color. You see all the different colors? They can be more colors than that. And they can certainly be purple, okay, and pink, and purplish, pinkish purple, or whatever came out in my photos. That's the color that the shadow was. Look over here. You see the difference here? Okay, not that much energy. Okay, over here, not that much energy. But look over here, lots of energy. Okay, so they channel the energy where they need it in the larger orb cluster of dark matter. So it's not always, in the same spot. The energy is being utilized wherever it is needed, most. Okay, I gotta turn off the camera because I can't see how to put it on a filter that's going to show me more. There's a few filters more I have, but I have to set it up, so I'm turning it off. You can see that those are orbs. That's what it looks like in 3 dimensions. So there's 2 orbs right there, and another couple of big ones inside, and there's 2 right on the edge. See them? I have to get just the right angle. And so the sun's up 7:30 in the morning. I took video with the other camera.
See the big ones on the bottom there? They're orbs too. And they're large. The other camera can get closer. You can see that even in three-dimensional view they are orbs. But when you look at them in a multi-dimensional view, and you realize the whole thing is just an illusion. And these things are constantly moving because the orbs that make up those larger orb clusters are moving really fast. All the movement is counterclockwise. See that one there? That looks like a ghost next to those two big orbs on the bottom. You can barely see it. That hasn't been created yet. So it's in a different dimension, and eventually it'll be in a dimension that we can see in the third dimension. You can see it now very well. You can see that they're all big orbs. And those two right there. You can see that they're not creators or anything. There are no creators. And all those dark spots there, that's where the orbs are very sparse. And if you take away the top layer, you can see right through to the other side, just like right there in the middle. The whole thing is an illusion, and it's an energy cluster made out of orbs that originate in dark matter, but they are energy organisms. See if that's an image of someone very big.